Hi, my name is Heather, and welcome to another episode of Wacom plus Cricut, my series where I show you how you can use your Wacom tablet to create projects for your Cricut. Before we start, I want to give a huge thank you to Wacom for sending me this tablet and for sponsoring this series. Today, we're going to be creating fall leaf earrings, and we're going to be using Affinity Designer 2. And when you buy a Wacom tablet, it comes with a free trial of the software, so that's why it will be perfect for this project. And also, since we're bringing this into the Cricut, we want it to be vector, and that's why we're using Affinity Designer 2 instead of a raster program like Affinity Photo. For these earrings, I got the Cricut Faux Suede Rustic Sampler. And these are going to be perfect for doing some fall leaves because the colors are all fall colors. This material is great because it can be cut using the Cricut Explorer, which is what I have. So you don't have to have the maker. And the other cool thing is that you don't even have to have the deep cut blade. You can just use a fine point blade for this one. I also have some jewelry supplies here. So I have the little hooks for the dangly earrings, and I have some jump rings. So I'll be using that to assemble the earrings. And I also have a needle nose plier. To start, I'm in Affinity Designer 2 right now, and I need to create my document. We're not going to need really big dimensions for this project because we're just doing little earrings. So I'll make mine like 8 inches by 8 inches. So I'll put for the page width 8 and for the page height 8, and just make sure document units are set to inches. For the DPI, I have it set to 72, and that's very important because it helps ensure that the project will come in at the correct size in Cricut Design Space. And then I'll just click Create. Now I'm going to grab my pencil tool and I'm going to draw half the leaf, and then we can just flip it and that'll make it symmetrical. And I'm not going to worry about the size of it right now because we can always change the size later. So I'm going to draw half the leaf. And then I'm going to grab my node tool and select the whole thing. And up here where it says action, I'm going to do close curve. You can find it right here where it has the two apart and then they're together, and just click it and see how that closed the gap. Now I can just kind of modify it however I need to. And I'll grab my move tool and I can rotate it. Now we have a closed shape. So we just want to change it from having no fill and a stroke to having a fill and no stroke. So I'm just going to click this little arrow here and see how it flipped it. And we have a filled shape here. And this actually would be ready to bring into Cricut Design Space because it's just a simple filled shape. But let's actually duplicate this. So I'm going to go to Edit, Duplicate, and then I want to mirror it. So I'm going to go up here and do Flip Horizontal and bring it over. So there's my little leaf, and now I just want to combine these two shapes into a single shape. So I'm going to select both of them and go up here and find Add and click Add. So now here is my first leaf. Now I can resize this to however big that I want my leaf to be. And you might want to grab a ruler and see how big you like your earrings to be. I like mine to be about 1.5 inches, but some people like them to be bigger or smaller. So we have our rulers here. And if you don't see your rulers, just go to View, Show Rulers. So I can actually just kind of look at those and make it about 1.5 inches high. Or if you want, you can use the transform box down here. The other thing we're going to need to do is make a hole for the jump ring to go in. So let's go ahead and zoom in, and then I'm going to grab the circle tool and I'm just going to make a circle. And I think 0.125 is probably about a pretty good size for it. So if that's hard to do there, you can go down here and then you'll just do width 0.125 and height 0.125. And then just place that wherever you want it to be. And now we're going to grab both of them with the move tool, and we're going to do subtract front. And now your hole is cut out of the earring. For the next shape, we'll do a very simple leaf shape, and then we can add some little jagged edges to it. So I'm going to start by just doing like an upside down teardrop shape. And then I'm going to grab the whole thing and I'm going to do close curve. And then now I'll go over here and, oh, it looks like I didn't have a fill or a stroke. So I can actually just double click on the fill and I'll make it black. So here is my half of a leaf. And now I just want to add some little jagged edges. So let me zoom in a little bit. And I'm going to grab my pencil tool. And now I can draw some little spikes. So I'm just doing like little letter V's here. And I'll also grab my node tool and I can kind of fix them up nice. If you want to delete any points, just click a point and click delete on your keyboard. Sometimes Affinity Designer just puts like way too many points on the lines. And I like to make my letter V's very close to the leaf, and that'll make it look a little more natural. And notice how the left side of the V is almost parallel with the left side of the leaf. So you don't want to have it coming out like this. You want to have it very close to the leaf. I think that's pretty good. Now I'm just going to grab each of my little V's and I'm going to swap the colors. So instead of having the stroke, I'll have a fill, and I'll do that with each of them. Now I can grab all of this and do add. And now it's all one shape. So now, just like with the other one, we're going to go to edit, duplicate, and then we're going to flip horizontal and connect them. Now we can grab both of them and click add. And now we have one full leaf shape. And again, you may need to use your node tool to just kind of touch some of these up, maybe delete some of the extra nodes. Now I'm just going to grab my leaf shape and I'll resize it. This time I'll just do it down here and I'm going to constrain my proportions. So I'm going to click this little link here. And then for the height, I'll just make it 1.5. So I'll do 1.5 and press enter. So now it's exactly 1.5. And then I'm just going to grab my circle tool and I'll make this circle here. And if I hold down shift, then it'll keep it as a perfect circle. And I'll just make it 0.125. Now, another thing that we can do is to make this circle exactly in the middle of this leaf. We can use our move tool to just grab both things. And then we're going to click the align center button. And now it's in the center. And now, just like the other one, we're going to do subtract front. Now for the next one, let's do one that's not symmetrical, just for something different. I'm going to start by grabbing my pencil tool. I'm going to make sure I have the stroke set to black, and I'll just do a very gentle curve. And that's going to be the curve of the spine of the leaf. And now let's just do some little outside pieces like that. And then we'll do one on this side. So notice how I kind of followed the spine as I went along. Now we want to make this one closed shape because these are two open shapes and we want it to be one closed shape that we can fill in. First, let's grab the line down the middle and we'll do something with that later. So I'm going to move it over here. Now I'm going to grab my node tool, and it's important that you use your node tool for this one. And you'll select both of those open shapes and go up to the top right here, and we're going to click join curves. So that's going to take those two open shapes and make them one closed shape. So now we can grab the move tool and have that selected, and we're just going to click the little swappy arrow, and now it's filled in. However, it doesn't really look like a leaf right now, but let's put a little cut down the middle so it has the spine. So I'm going to grab this spine, and first of all, it's just a line right now. So let's convert it to a shape. So I'm going to go up here and go to layer, expand stroke, And now, as you can see, it's actually a shape because if we click our node tool, you can see that it has points around it. And I'm going to fill it in with white right now because that way if we overlap it, we'll be able to see it. So let's double click on the color and I'm going to pick white. And then I can overlap it here. And it must be underneath the leaf. So let's grab the leaf here and I'll move this to the bottom. Now we can see it. So I don't really want the cut to go all the way through it. I'm going to grab my node tool. I'm going to zoom in and I'm just going to delete some of these points down here. And then I can even like pull these out to make it a little bit thicker. And maybe I'll make it a little shorter up here too. I'm just clicking on these nodes and deleting them. And you don't want to make this too big because you want it to still have some structure, but that's probably pretty good. So there is a nice little fall leaf there. And now I'm just going to make my circle again. So I'll grab my circle tool and hold down Shift. And then I'm going to go down here and make it 0.125. And that looks pretty good. So now I'm going to select everything and do subtract front because I want that circle to be cut out instead of just a white shape. And there's my earring. Now let's make this also 1.5. And then we can also duplicate these so that we have pairs of earrings, because if you're going to put this online for someone to buy, then you want it to make sense for the client and they're going to want to see pairs of earrings. So I'm just going to grab this one and I'll do edit, duplicate. Grab this guy, edit, duplicate, and this one. And then for this one, let's flip it. So I'll do flip horizontal, and then that way they're symmetrical when you're wearing them. So here is my set of earrings, and let's go ahead and pull it into Cricut Design Space and cut them out. So I'm going to go to File, Save. So I'm going to make a new folder, which is going to be earrings, and I'll call this Fall Earrings. And by default, it's going to save as an Affinity Designer file, so that's okay. We're going to save that. And then we're also going to do File, Export, and we're going to export it as an SVG. And you can pick SVG for export. And under Advanced, let's do Use DPI, and we'll do 72. And we're going to uncheck Set View Box, and that will also ensure that it comes in as the correct size. And we're going to click Export. Now let's go into Cricut Design Space. I'm in a new project here and I'm going to go to Upload, Upload Image, Browse, and I'll pick Fall Earrings.svg and upload. And then I'm going to click and do Add to Canvas. So here they are, and as you can see, each one is about 1.5 inches. And here, as always, we just have to ungroup it so that they are each separate. And here's our earrings. So now if we want to make it, we can just go to Make It. And here's the earrings all lined up here. And I'm actually going to do 3 different colors. And here's a little hack. The first 3 inches will be the first pair. And then the next 3 inches from 3 to 6 will be the second pair. And then from 6 to 9 will be the third pair. So that way I can just do 3-inch blocks of my material. And that way I can cut them all at once instead of having to run one color through and then the next color through and then the next color through. Hopefully that makes sense, but you'll see what I mean in a second. Now let's click Continue. I have my material set to custom and I'm just going to go to Browse All Materials. And I just want to pick the faux suede leather. So I'll go up here and I'll just type in faux. And here's faux suede. So let's bookmark that and I'll select it as well and click done. And now it says to load. Here's my mat. I actually have a mat that I cut in half so that I can use it for smaller projects. And here is my faux suede. So I'm just going to open this up and I'll cut my little 2-inch by 3-inch sections. Here are my little rectangles And I'm just going to place them on the top left of the mat. And then every 3 inches is going to be a new color and a new pair of earrings. Cut this a little too big. Okay. And then also I'm just going to use a little bit of masking tape just to make sure these stay in place because it's not like super sticky. And I'm just trying to make sure I don't put the masking tape where it's going to get cut. All right, so here is my mat that is ready to put through the machine, and you can see the 3 different materials for the 3 different earrings. And now I'll go ahead and run it through. Here is my finished cut leather. So I'm just going to take it off the mat. Here's my little earring, and there might be little fibers kind of coming off the sides from when you take it out. So I'm just going to trim those up with my little detail scissors. And I got to take out my little middle piece. Now all of the earrings are separated from the material, and we can add the little hook and the jump rings. So I have my little jump ring here, and I'm just going to stick it in the hole. And then I'm actually going to do another jump ring, so I'm just going to close this up, and you can use the pliers for that if you need to. And then I'm going to put another jump ring because this will make sure that they face the front when someone wears them. So I'm going to put my second jump ring here, and then I'll put my hook here, and then close that up. And then I'm just going to use my pliers to make sure it's nice and tight. And here is my little dangly earring. So I'm just going to continue that for all of the earrings. Now all my earrings are done and I'm ready for fall. I hope you liked this video. If you have any questions, as always, you can let me know in the comments or you can email me at heather@heathercash.com. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe so I know to make more videos like this. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.